Now, CBS 13 News is on your side at 6.
Well, I saw a big plume of smoke, looked across, and I thought, boy, that looks like where we live.
130 acres scorched and burning.
Right now, the wildfire danger across Maine and New Hampshire is still very high.
Tonight, we have comprehensive live team coverage. Our crews are in Ossipee, New Hampshire, where firefighters are working right now to control that major wildfire.
To the south in York County, CBS 13's Marissa Bodner is looking into how the Forest Service is monitoring the threat, keeping you safe.
First, though, let's go ahead and get right to Katie Sampson. And Katie, these firefighters have been fighting literally an uphill battle, but some progress tonight.
Absolutely, Greg. The good news is just in the last hour, crews told us they do have this wildfire 100% contained after a massive effort this week. Today, there were 30 firefighters assisting, including 4 from Elliott, Maine. We also met 2 residents who live nearby who are going above and beyond to help.
Well, I saw a big plume of smoke, looked across, and I thought, boy, that looks like where we live.
Jim Rhymes came back from vacation to a new view out their front window.
Came up and everybody was here in the field.
Their home, now home base for these crews on a serious mission.
It's the least we can do, especially because they're protecting our property too.
On Wednesday, the brush fire doubled in size to more than 130 acres.
Just the extreme dry conditions that we're having this spring.
I tell you, it was cooking. It was really going.
Forest rangers say it could have been even worse.
We've been lucky with the prevailing winds we've had the last few days. The fire has been backing down the mountain instead of going with the wind and making runs.
All the homes in this area are safe, and the sound of helicopters flying overhead remains a comfort.
Well, it was good because you knew they were helping us and everybody else too.
This land has been in the Rhymes family for decades. They're proud to see it serve a purpose like this.
We kept saying, what about Daddy, Jim's father? What would he have said? And we figured out that he would have said the same thing, you've got to help out. So
Everybody's got to do their part. Do what you can.
Again, crews do have this fire 100% contained this evening, but they still have their work cut out for them. What they plan to do now is transition into their next phase, what they call mop-up operations. They'll go back onto that mountain and put out hot spots. That's a lengthy process that could take several more days. Live in Ossipee, New Hampshire, Katie Sampson, CBS 13 News. Back to you.
A real team effort out there, Katie. Great to hear about the progress.
Right now, firefighters are still battling hot spots after 50 acres burn in Burlington, just north of Bangor. Fanned by strong winds, that fast-moving fire destroyed 2 barns, several vehicles, and a shed. A man whose house was spared says his neighbors weren't as lucky.
House and barn were completely gone. My barn was gone. They were working on some other outbuildings of mine, so I'm lucky. I really don't have much more to say than that, other than the wind is outrageous. They're not kidding when they said it's dry.
Firefighters say it could be a couple of days before all of the hot spots are out.
Well, with hot, dry conditions, every second counts when a fire breaks out, and a bird's eye view can make a real difference. CBS 13's Marissa Bodner is live atop Mount Agamenticus in York, where spotters and you right now, Marissa, keeping a sharp eye out for smoke.
Well, Greg, the views up here are just spectacular. I'm told on a clear day you can actually make out the Boston skyline. We have seen a lot of haze from that Ossipee fire. Smoke today also spotted in Lebanon and Rochester, New Hampshire, also to our north in Kennebunk and Alfred. Of course, the best view here on Mount Aggie is one of the last few active fire towers. Volunteers have been watching from up there all day. This is registered on the list of National Historic Lookouts, but the work done inside is even more important.
I've been doing this for 3 years.
Tommy McQuaid sits in an 8x8 wood shack.
It's neat. I like it.
70 feet off the ground.
Get your cardio in.
To keep an eye out for fires.
I grew up in the area. I've been a firefighter for 20 years. It was something that I've always been interested in doing.
He volunteers on his days off. Does it get lonely up here?
Yes and no. Yeah, it's boring sometimes, but at the same time, it's relaxing. You have the best view in the entire state. You can't complain.
He can make a difference, armed with binoculars and a radio.
Usually you're looking across the horizon, you might see a puff of white come up between the trees or something like that.
Signs of trouble look similar to the smoke coming from this asphalt plant.
Yep, that one's there. It's fixed. It's like a lighthouse.
When it's a more dangerous beacon, McQuaid turns to his firefinder.
I can look through this end and I can line it up with this wire right here. That will give me the actual compass setting. And then I can pull the maps down. This is where it gets real primitive.
It's a World War II surplus map.
And where the lines cross from the different towers, that will pinpoint where the fire is.
He's rarely far off.
Usually within 100 yards.
It's crucial, he says, considering a fire doubles in size every 19 seconds.
The quicker we can spot it and get crews out there putting water on it, the quicker it goes out, the more we can serve timber, conservation land, that sort of thing.
And that is why Tommy McQuaid sits in an 8x8 wood shack all day.
As long as they still need people doing it, yeah, we'll do it. As long as the tower's still here, I'll come up.
And like he said, the view from up there is not too bad. Towers are also still manned at Mount Hope in Sanford, as well as Ossipee Hill in Waterboro, New Hampshire. And even though the temperature is expected to drop a good 20 degrees overnight, McQuaid says really until it rains, it's still dry out here and still dangerous. For now, live on Mount Aggie, I'm Marissa Bodner, CBS 13 News. Back to you.
All right, Marissa, and you mentioned those conditions. Any wildfire that starts is spreading fast thanks to record-breaking heat and those dry conditions. CBS 13 Chief Meteorologist Charlie Lopresti joins us live now. And Charlie, any relief in sight?
A little bit, Kim. Tomorrow, those relative humidities will be on the increase. We'll have a consistent wind coming in off the ocean, so it won't be nearly as dry. The fire danger will go down a little bit tomorrow, but any significant rain, that should hold off until late in the weekend into more so early next week. A red flag warning remains in effect for the entire region. Basically, that means any fires that get going have the potential to spread quickly under these weather conditions of dry weather and breezy conditions. The other big story today, not only the fire condition, but the air temperatures soaring into the 80s. Normal high for the state is around 60 degrees. Current temps are in the 70s at the coast. We had that onshore wind kick in. Many inland towns are still in the 80s. Lows tonight will be in the 40s, so it will be significantly cooler. Tomorrow, look for highs only in the 50s. Some inland towns will be in the 60s. Coming up, I'll walk you through tomorrow's forecast, hour by hour, town by town, and we'll take you through the Mother's Day weekend forecast where, Kim, some towns could have a high near 80 again. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Sounds like good timing there, Charlie. Some new developments and new leads in a deadly hit-and-run crash early this morning in Rochester, New Hampshire. CBS 13's Brad Rogers shows us how police are now closing in on a suspect.
These markings are where police found evidence of the hit and run, green paint chips and pieces of headlight assembly. Thanks to tips from the public, police found the truck they believe hit the victim with front-end damage.
Subsequently this morning, we have impounded a 1998 Dodge 1500 color green pickup truck that we believe is the suspect vehicle in this case.
This is where an unknown driver hit and killed a bicyclist and then drove off. It happened shortly after midnight here on Farmington Road in Rochester on this southbound on-ramp to the Spalding Turnpike. First responders found the man's body here along this guardrail with his bike, not far from the body. This is the man who was killed, Jeffrey Howarth. Police say he rode this bike to get around town. Police say it didn't have a headlight and Howarth wasn't wearing any reflective clothing. There was also only one street light nearby.
It's extremely dangerous, and New Hampshire laws do have requirements for bicyclists to have headlights, reflectors in the pedal, and also to be wearing reflective clothing.
Police are now looking for the driver of the truck. They say that person could face serious charges, possibly even vehicular manslaughter. In Rochester, Brad Rogers, CBS 13 News.
And we just got word from Rochester police that they have arrested someone in connection with that hit and run. We do not have the suspect's name at this point. We'll have an update for you tonight on CBS 13 News at 11.
Stopping sex offenders from living near playgrounds. The Biddeford City Council is expected to pass an ordinance that will do just that. CBS 13's Maria Valvanis is live for us tonight. Maria, this is a response to the public and their call for help.
Yeah, Greg, the ban would stop sex offenders from being able to live within 750 feet of playgrounds like this one, where, of course, kids are known to hang out. Counselors say it's one minor step forward. several cries for help. Now, councilors expect the ordinance to be passed at the next council meeting. It was prompted by recent allegations of sex abuse, some against former police.
This isn't something like drugs where you're affecting only yourself. This is something that would affect my child or somebody else's child potentially for the rest of their lives. And I'm totally not going to stand for that.
It can be retroactive. People can and probably will pick it or something like that, but it's only going to affect new sex offenders.
Now, the council is also pushing for this to become a statewide ban. They're in talks with state lawmakers about doing that. Live in Biddeford tonight, Maria Valdenas for CBS 13 News. Back to you.
All right, we'll monitor the results from that. Thanks very much, Maria.
Should Skowhegan Area High School change its nickname? Some people say it's tradition, while others call it offensive. Coming up, we'll break down both sides of the argument ahead of tonight's school board meeting. That's new at 6.
Plus, it's a Waste Watch investigation.
The number of people cut off from welfare this year, how much money the state is saving, and why some say those cuts go too far.
You're watching CBS 13 News at 6.
CBS 13 is on Waste Watch with new controversies over the state's move to cut off food stamps for thousands of Mainers and new claims that those cuts go too far. Investigative reporter John Crucius is here with this latest twist on this, John.
And Greg, the state has now ended food stamp benefits for more than 9,000 Mainers this year. We did the math and it's saving taxpayers more than $13 million a year. But some say the new DHHS rule is leaving Mainers hungry. Now, this all goes back to a federal requirement. It says if you're healthy and don't have any kids, you need to work or you don't get food stamps. But Maine asked for an exemption to that rule during the recession. This year, Maine and 8 other states decided to stop asking for that waiver. But now Democrats on the Health and Human Services Committee are fighting that decision. They voted to eliminate the work or volunteer requirement, ordering DHHS to take the waiver for rural parts of the state.
People are actively looking for work, anxious to work, willing to work. If the jobs aren't there, should they go hungry?
I'm disheartened that there are those in the legislature who continue to believe that the answer is creating more dependency and discouraging employment.
The bill will now be considered by the House and Senate. Commissioner Mayhew says she's optimistic it won't pass, and if it does, is confident the governor will veto it. It is important to note this rule only applies to healthy adults without children who are 18 to 49 years old. Kim, back over to you.
Thanks, John. Skowhegan Area High School is still deciding whether or not it should keep the nickname the Indians for sports teams. The school is one of the last in the state that still uses an American Indian-themed nickname. CBS 13's Jennifer Long joins us ahead of tonight's school board meeting. And Jen, what will they be doing tonight?
Well, Kim, we're told there will be a discussion here tonight at the school board meeting whether or not they should change that nickname from the Indians here at the school. People will be allowed to voice their opinions, but we're still not sure whether or not the school board will actually vote on this issue tonight. On Monday, the school board held a forum where only residents of the school district and state legislators were allowed to speak and voice their opinions. Representatives from 4 main tribes were allowed to speak at a school board subcommittee. That happened on April 13th, and they said the word Indian is an insult to them. Now, this debate is certainly not new. Actually, discussion to change the school's nickname started years ago, 15 years ago. People on both sides of this debate are very passionate about this. On one hand, you have students and parents who say the term Indian is really part of their school's history and tradition, while Native American tribe members say that word is insulting to them. So we'll certainly hear from those people tonight. Again, no word yet on whether the school board will be voting on this. As we learn any new information, of course, we'll bring it to you. Live in Skowhegan, Jennifer Long, CBS 13 News. Back to you.
All right, we'll look for the update tonight, Jen. Thanks.
Well, warm and dry, bad for the fire danger, but about perfect for everything else. And Charlie, we even broke a record today.
That's right, it's feeling like summer, Greg, but that's about to change. We're tracking a cool down, but we're also tracking some showers and thunderstorms. We'll iron out the details next.
Now, your CBS 13 Weather Authority forecast with Charlie Lopresti.
Welcome back, everyone. Feeling like summer today with highs soaring into the 80s. Your normal high is around 60 degrees. 84 breaks a daily record high at the Jetport, the old record 81, set back in 1957. The last time we hit 84 degrees was back on September 27th. It's been quite some time. Most of the area warmed into the low to mid 80s. Don't get too comfortable though. Winds are out of the south right now. Still very comfortable. Coastal areas are coolest. Notice Rockland at 70. Low to mid 70s for most coastal Maine and New Hampshire. You head farther inland, we're still in the 80s. Freiburg still showing off with a temperature of 84 degrees. Your Old Orchard Beach time lapse today. I captured one person in the ocean. Water temperature is 46 degrees. That is one hardy soul there. A few folks enjoying a nice little walk on the beach, even a few folks in a lawn chair or a beach chair during the afternoon hours. Even at the beaches, we warmed into the 70s and low 80s today. Let's head down to Nubble Lighthouse where the temperatures are a little bit cooler, low 60s there. Notice the grass greening up there as well. We'll head over to Higgins Beach where a few folks enjoying a nice little walk on the beach. They're 66 degrees. Now compare that to areas like Sunday River, 81, where they were skiing and snowboarding last weekend. You can still see a little bit of snow on the trails. Farther off to the west there up in Newry, Maine. Skies are clear courtesy of high pressure. We'll keep the sunshine tomorrow. There is a disturbance farther off to our west. Notice some of these showers. Those arrive here first in the mountains late on Saturday. Most areas will get into some showers and thunderstorms on Sunday. Scattered about. It's not going to be a washout though. Temps will start in the 50s tomorrow morning. Afternoon highs will range from 50s at the coastline to 60s inland. There'll be a more pronounced onshore wind tomorrow. So with that wind off the ocean, temps will be coolest at the coastline, 60s over the interior. As we head into Saturday, mostly sunny skies. I expect 60s at the coastline, low 70s inland. A few spots in the mountains will be a little bit warmer. There's a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm in the mountains late in the day on Saturday. Sunday looks to be very warm. Highs near 80 at the coastline, low to mid 80s inland. It's going to feel like midsummer again with an increased chance for showers and thunderstorms late on Mother's Day. We're talking late afternoon into the evening hours. It's far from a washout. If you have outdoor plans, just grab an umbrella or rain jacket. The greatest threat for a shower thunderstorm will be during the second half of the day on Sunday. Monday, we'll keep some showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. On Tuesday, more of the same. Temps will be warmest over the interior, upper 50s at the coastline tomorrow, low 60s inland. I think 80s will make an appearance again on Sunday. Temps look more seasonable by this time next week with a return to some sunshine. So we were in the 80s today. We broke a record. I was looking back in the records in 1945. We had 4 inches of snow on May 11th. So it can happen.
Oh, don't even joke, Charlie. All right, thanks.
Coming up, the USM baseball team looking to stay in the winner's bracket today. The one big inning that has the Huskies a step closer to another conference title.
Plus, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady is expected to speak about the Wells report tonight. What his agent had to say earlier today, next in sports.
Now, CBS 13 Sports with Dave Eade.
The Deflategate tremors are still being felt throughout all of New England. Good evening, everyone. First things first, the key figure in this deflated football's investigation, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, will be speaking at Salem State College in Massachusetts later tonight. Brady's agent Don Yee called the report a terrible disappointment. Yee says its omission of key facts and lines of inquiry suggests the investigators reached a conclusion first and then determined so-called facts later. It is more probable than not that the league cooperated with the Colts in perpetrating a sting operation. Tom Brady's dad also coming to the star quarterback's defense today, telling USA Today Deflategate was a sting operation. That led to this incredible rant from Christopher Mad Dog Russo.
Put your shirt on! Don't hide! USA Today! Come on, talk shows! Hey, come on now! Come on right now! Say that to me! Say that to anybody! Say it to somebody!
Well, all right, the Little East Conference baseball tournament continuing in Gorham today. The top-seeded USM Huskies looking to go to 2-0, taking on Rhode Island College. Top one anchorman with a couple runners on. Look at this beautiful stop from Huskies third baseman Matt Bender, who turns the double play there to get out of trouble. Bottom one, and it's Bender with the base hit to center field. That'll score Sam Dexter for a 1-0 USM lead. Huskies go on to the win today, 6-2 the final. They'll play tomorrow morning at 9:30 in the winner's bracket. High school baseball from earlier today, the Marshwood Hawks taking on the Deering Rams at Hadlock. Rams starter Jim Sinclair, very impressive, striking out the side in the first. Bottom one now, and Dom Bernard is going to smoke one into deep right field. It'll roll to the wall and score Nick Bevilacqua with the game's first run. But right now, Marshwood is leading this one 11-6 in the sixth. We'll, of course, have much more in the way of highlights tonight on CBS 13 Sports at 11 and Fox 23 Sports at 10 o'clock. And we'll hear from Mr. Tom Brady as well.
See what he has to
Yeah.
say. All right, thanks, Dave.
We'll be right back with one more check on your forecast, including when we could see some much-needed rain.
New at 6, it was a big day for hundreds of athletes from southern Maine. Today, more than 400 competitors came out for the York County Special Olympics. This year's event was held at Shapley Middle School in Kittery, and we want to extend a big congratulations to everybody who competed today.
Absolutely. Great to see that great weather for it, too. Huh?
Yes, beautiful day.
You couldn't have asked for better weather. We made it to the 80s today. Felt like midsummer. That's not going to continue tomorrow, though. We're in the upper 50s at the coastline. I think inland towns will be a little bit warmer, likely 60s there. Now, Saturday looks nice. Greatest chance for a shower or thunderstorm will be in the mountains. We'll have more widespread showers and thunderstorms late on Sunday. Most of Mother's Day will be dry, though, with highs near 80. How's that sound?
Sounds perfect.
Moms are happy.
Thanks, Charlie. Have a great night, everyone.
We'll see you back here later tonight.